Right now what we're doing is kind of a pregame show, and then the debate's going to be aired later, if you miss any part of it, on Charter Communications. Now, tonight's forum is being sponsored by the Press Enterprise and Raincross Group, and like I said, it'll last about an hour. Then I hope you can stick with us after that, because we're going to have some guests on to talk about what they saw and their reaction to what the candidates had to say. Now, the format for tonight's evening is a moderator is going to be providing questions to both candidates, but then they're also going to have an opportunity to ask a couple questions of each other, so that's going to be kind of interesting. But for now, let's talk with Press Enterprise reporter Alicia Robinson, who covers the city of Riverside for us and has been paying very close attention to this race. And in case you haven't really been watching it, both Mr. Bailey and Mr. Atkinson are running to succeed longtime Mayor Ron Loveridge. He's been mayor for about 18 years. He decided not to run again. There was a June primary featuring 7 candidates, and Mr. Atkinson and Mr. Bailey got the highest vote totals, and they're going to be facing each other in the November runoff. So, Alicia, now that the primary's over, I mean, kind of what's been the main issues in this race since then?
Well, I would say that they've been some of the same issues that we saw heading into the June election. The top issue has been probably how to attract businesses and bring jobs to the city and encourage economic development. Also, how to be inclusive. The census data, I believe, shows the city's population is about 49% Latino and 8% African American, but those populations have not always been represented on the city council. So how to bring everyone to the table and get them to be participating and represented in the city has been an issue. Also, how to support education. While the city doesn't have any direct influence on schools, they can create partnerships with both K-12 districts and also the colleges and universities. Okay.
Now, I'm interested, what's been kind of the tenor of the campaign? Have both the candidates been trying to differentiate themselves? Have they been agreeing a lot of the issues? What's kind of been the tone that you've noticed?
Well, they've taken a few jabs at each other, but it's mostly been pretty civil. I'm not really aware of any attack mailers or ads so far. Now, Ed Atkinson has kind of positioned himself as sort of a budget hawk. He said that if he's elected, he would cut the mayor's budget in half, and he's suggested he would like to see the mayor gain a power of sort of a line item veto on the budget to try to keep the city spending under control. Rusty, on the other hand, has positioned himself as kind of bringing new blood to the office and sort of speaking for a younger generation in Riverside. He's actually about to turn 40 this weekend. And if he's elected, he would be one of the youngest mayors that Riverside has had in recent memory. But he also would want to carry on some of Mayor Loveridge's initiatives. One example is Ron Loveridge for a long time has done a walk with the mayor, and Rusty suggested he'd like to start a bike with the mayor.
Okay. Now, these candidates, in general, where do they get their support from? I'm wondering, maybe do they have any, particularly strong campaign donors? Are there particular neighborhoods where they're stronger than others? And are there any key constituencies they're really going to have to win over, besides obviously, just the public at large, in order to become mayor?
Well, now, Ed actually raised a lot of money, but partly because he started his campaign very early, way back in 2010. I think, if I'm correct, he may have been the first candidate to actually get in the race. And he was, as of the last finance reports I saw, was well into 6 figures. He's had, some of his donors were, business people, developers, probably people who he knows from having his own business in town for many years. And then he's also had some endorsements from a lot of, I guess, what you could call sort of the old guard in the business and political communities. He has 2 of the current council members are backing him, and then I believe most of the County Board of Supervisors had also endorsed him, as well as some elected officials from around the region. And then Rusty, he's never quite raised as much money as Ed, but he may not actually have needed it. He got the most votes in the June election. He also won several coveted endorsements. He got the endorsement from Mayor Loveridge, and recently the City Firefighters Union also endorsed Rusty, and that is an endorsement which will bring some financial support with it.
Okay, great. Now, I understand that Mr. Atkinson used to be a councilman. Mr. Bailey is a councilman right now. Is there anything about their record or their time, obviously Mr. Atkinson's prior time on the council and Mr. Bailey's current term, that, that kind of sense it's a signature of the type of leader they have been and what they might do as mayor?
Well, I think that if you were to ask either of them about accomplishments, something that would probably come up for both of them would be the Riverside Renaissance. Now that was begun when Ed Atkinson was on the council, and then Rusty took several votes to continue some of those initiatives during his term, and that was something that I think has been fairly popular. Some people have been concerned about the amount of debt the city is in, but I think you're not going to find anyone who doesn't like the improvements that have been made in terms of parks and streets and libraries.
Okay. All right. Well, Alicia, thank you very much for your insight on this, and you're going to join us after the debate to talk some more. So thank you very much. And now we're just a few minutes away from the start of the debate, and we have Megan here, and she's helped to set up this event. And so, Megan, if you could just talk briefly about a little bit about your background, who you are, and how you got involved in this event.
Hi, yeah, I'm Megan Paulus. I work for Riverside Unified School District, and we're videotaping the pre-show and the post-show today. So basically, we have some high school students here with us, or one here with us, but we have high school students help our crew set up. We have our 3 cameras, and we have our switching board in the back that we have run all the cables to and all the audio cables. But okay. Yeah, just pretty much just set up and running the cameras during the pre and post show.
Now, how much goes into it? I mean, we're talking like hours of planning, days, weeks. I mean, what kind of prep do you have to do?
Well, we've been here since about noon today, and we've been planning for a few weeks, yeah, at least.
Okay, great. Well, again, thank you very much, and appreciate all the fine work you've done to help put on this event. And,
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Well, again, thank you for tuning in, and we're about to get ready to start the debate between Rusty Bailey and Ed Atkinson, and that'll last about an hour, and then after that we'll have the post-debate show, and we'll have various guests on that. So thank you very much for watching. For the Press Enterprise and PE.com, I'm Jeff Horseman.